Welcome to Animated World Channel.
Pinocchio.
Many years ago, in a small town, there lived a kind old carpenter named Geppetto. Geppetto made beautiful toys for children with wood, and he loved his work. But he was very lonely and wished to have a son. One day, Geppetto was carving a wooden doll. He heard a voice saying,
Hello, Father.
The voice was from a wooden doll. Geppetto was very surprised, but then he was happy and named him Pinocchio. Geppetto told Pinocchio that if you want to be a real boy, you have to go to school and study. But Pinocchio didn't want to go to school, so he ran away from his father and went to play. Old Geppetto followed Pinocchio to catch him. Pinocchio entered a bakery and threw the bread into a mess. The baker informed the police. The police arrested poor Geppetto. Pinocchio was happy and said to himself,
Now I don't have to go to school anymore and I can play as much as I want.
Pinocchio played all day and returned home in the evening, but Geppetto had not come yet. Pinocchio, who was tired and hungry, came out of the house and waited under the rain for Geppetto to come. No matter how long he waited, there was no news of Geppetto. Pinocchio, who was wet from the rain, had to go back home and sit next to the heater to warm himself. He had jumped up and down all day, so he fell asleep there and did not notice that his legs were burning. In the middle of the night, Geppetto returned home and saw that Pinocchio's legs were burnt. Geppetto said to Pinocchio,
Don't worry, I will make new legs for you.
Geppetto worked until the morning and made new legs for Pinocchio. Pinocchio also apologized to him and promised to be a good boy and from tomorrow go to school. Pinocchio, who hadn't eaten anything since the night before and was hungry, Geppetto brought him some pears to eat and be satisfied. That day, Geppetto bought Pinocchio an alphabet book so that he could go to school tomorrow. Pinocchio thanked him. He was happy that he wanted to go to school. The next morning, Pinocchio picked up his book and walked towards the school. He reached near the school when a sound caught his attention. Near the school was a circus who was having a puppet show. Pinocchio forgot his promise, sold his alphabet book and bought a circus ticket with his money to watch the show. When Pinocchio saw wooden puppets playing on the stage, he also went on the stage. But the strings of the puppets were tied together and the show was ruined. People laughed when they saw this scene. The circus owner was very angry and wanted to throw Pinocchio in the fire. But when Pinocchio told him the story, he was heartbroken and let him go and gave Pinocchio 5 gold coins to buy another book for himself. Pinocchio went home smiling and happy. This time he really wanted to buy himself an alphabet book and go to school. But on the way, the cat and the fox saw Pinocchio and planned to get his coins. They told Pinocchio, if you plant your coins next to the miracle tree in the forest, the minister will sleep on the tree. The tree will grow coins and you will become rich. We will show you the miracle tree. He followed them, buried his money and slept there. But when he woke up, he saw that he was hanging from a tree. The cat and the fox had dug the ground and taken the coins. Then they tied Pinocchio and ran away. A kind fairy who always watched over Pinocchio sent a falcon to save him. Poor Pinocchio, who was hanging from the tree for several hours in the cold weather, was sick. The kind fairy put him to bed and brought him medicine. Pinocchio asked if this medicine is bitter. The fairy answered yes, but you have to eat it to get better. But Pinocchio said,
I don't like to take bitter medicine.
The fairy said,
If you don't eat, you will die.
Then she clapped her hands and 4 rabbits came with a coffin came on their back. Pinocchio, who was very scared, said,
No matter how bitter it is, I will eat the medicine.
When Pinocchio got better, the kind fairy asked him,
Why didn't you go to school? What happened to the alphabet book?
Pinocchio said,
I was going to school when I saw a poor child. I sold my book to buy him food.
As Pinocchio was talking, his nose started to lengthen, and every moment his nose was getting longer. Pinocchio was scared. He said,
Oh, my nose. Why is my nose so long?
The fairy said.
Because you lied.
When Pinocchio promised not to lie again, the kind fairy asked the woodcutter to fix Pinocchio's nose. Pinocchio said goodbye to the kind fairy and went home, but on the way he saw a carriage full of children going to the amusement park. Pinocchio forgot everything and got into the carriage and went to the amusement park with other children. The children played in the amusement park every day, and Pinocchio had so much fun that he decided to stay there forever. But after a while he noticed that his ears had changed and he had a tail. All the children gradually turned into donkeys. Pinocchio wanted to go home, but it was too late. The owner of the carriage sold all the children to a circus. The owner of the circus was a cruel and greedy man. He forced them to perform dangerous shows every day. One day, while jumping through the ring of fire, Pinocchio fell and broke his leg. The owner of the circus got angry and ordered to throw Pinocchio into the sea. Pinocchio was thrown into the sea. The fishes gathered around him and bit him. Little by little, the skin of the donkey broke and Pinocchio came out. He was very happy to be back to his original state. Suddenly, a giant whale approached Pinocchio from behind and swallowed him. It was very dark inside the whale's belly, but when Pinocchio looked closely, he noticed a light at the bottom of the whale's belly. Pinocchio swam to the light and was very happy to see Geppetto in the whale's belly. They hugged each other. Geppetto said, "When you didn't come home that day, I was worried about you and I came to the sea to find you, but this whale swallowed me." Pinocchio, who regretted his actions, apologized to Geppetto. They waited for the whale to open its mouth and then ran away. Pinocchio, who was wooden and could not drown, but it was very hard for old Geppetto to swim in the sea. They finally reached the shore. Pinocchio took Geppetto home and took care of him. Every day he cooked healthy food for his father to make Geppetto feel better. When Geppetto got better and was able to get out of bed, the kind fairy appeared and told Pinocchio that you have shown kindness to your father. You deserve to be a real boy. And then with a wave of her magic wand, she turned Pinocchio into a real boy. Finally, Geppetto achieved his wish and lived happily with his son until the end of his life.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel for more videos.